Yeah, check this out, guys. Until the late 60s, if you looked into this direction, you saw a huge mansion over there that belonged to pro-Japanese Korean Yoon Dok-young. How he got the mansion there is a super interesting story. We're going to talk about that later.
Welcome back to the Welcome to Maidong series. In this episode, we will explore the charming neighborhood of Ogin-dong, located in the Gyeongbokgung district, just a short walk west of the Gyeongbokgung Palace. Not only does this neighborhood have fascinating hidden stories, but I've also discovered my favorite viewpoint in the entire city, for now. This place is truly a gem, and soon you will see why.
This is tough. So the mansion is gone now, but there's still many traces, and hopefully we can find a few of them today. But first, let's go up into the valley, the Susong-dong Valley. So we're back, guys. We're back. It is July, and the last couple of weeks it was really difficult to film because of the monsoon season. Every day I look at the weather forecast and you see rain, rain, rain. You never know when it comes. And today I gambled. It's like, no matter what, I'm going out. I look at the weather. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. A great day to go into the Seoul Valley. And also, it's really hot. Also, I got a new camera. Hope you like it. So we're now in the Seochon Valley, the Susong-dong Gaegok. Gaegok means valley in Korean. Don't confuse this with Susong-dong neighborhood that I have explored recently. Susong-dong in this case means something like the sound of water. Apparently, in this valley, there's a beautiful, clear sound of water floating down the valley this direction.
I want to approach this neighborhood from top to bottom. First we will go up into the valley, from where we will slowly walk down. Someone tipped me about the Seokguram Grotto that I really want to check out. That will be our starting point. I couldn't find much info online, so I have no clue what we will find. The hike itself isn't too difficult, by the way, but the current heat makes it tough.
Wow. This is fantastic. There's a reason, guys, that Inwangsan is my favorite mountain around Seoul. Well, this is one of the reasons. Check this out. Whew. A blue sky with beautiful white clouds. Okay, let's go up. There it is. We made it. The Seokguram Grotto. Not to be confused with the one in Gyeongju, because if you Google it, you won't easily find this, but you will easily find the one in Gyeongju. Things like this, halfway or along the route up, if you find places like this, it's so worth it. Little gems, little sacred places. Sanchin 그림 있나요?
Seokguram 산신가 right there.
Okay.
Maybe 60 meters. And right there, 80 meters in the road viewpoint.
Okay, thank you. So let's check out the Seokguram Sanchin Gak. The Sanchin, the mountain god, and the tiger. Protectors of the mountain. Now, during Joseon Dynasty, Inwangsan was infamous for the many tigers, and sometimes they would go hunt the people of Hanyang. So there's a saying that no tiger in the Joseon Dynasty didn't know his way around Inwangsan. Isn't that cool to imagine that whoever walked here back in the days had to be careful, had to fear the tigers. What a place. I love it here. Now this is Korea too, in a nutshell. Gym machines, here the monks can exercise. Usually monks are quite strong. It's high enough for me, and that's usually not the case. But in the middle of nowhere, what in the Taekwondo emancipation is this? These monks are preparing for war with North Korea.
Now let's talk about a rock. This rock to be precise.
So the huge rock behind me, the Skirt Rock, the Chima Rock, how it got its name, this is quite interesting.
Yes, it is. Legends say the rock got its name from a royal love story. After Queen Dangyong was deposed from Gyeongbokgung Palace, Joseon's 11th king Jungjong's first wife, she lived at the foot of Mount Inwang. After she learned how much the king missed her and that he would gaze at Inwangsan from Gyeonggi Pavilion, the queen hung a red skirt on the rock so the king could see it. And that's how the rock got its name.
Now I find urban legends like this extremely interesting.
The story doesn't stop here. In 1939, the Japanese colonial government engraved the rock with propaganda to encourage East Asian youth to volunteer in the Japanese war efforts. Right here, for all of Joseon's people to see. Isn't that crazy? Someone tried to erase the engravings, but they are still very much visible.
Road viewpoint.
I guess it's time to show you my favorite viewpoint. But if you ever come here after watching this video, remember it's a sacred place, and please treat it with utmost respect.
But for real, guys, nothing can beat this place. Nothing can beat this view. This is, I don't want to say my new favorite spot in the city, but we're getting close. Because every time I say this, I find something else, and you guys are like, "Oh, Bart, you keep saying this is my favorite spot in every video."
이 위에 Mountain Grandmother. Mountain Grandmother.
이건 무슨 뜻이에요?
할머니한테 기도, 정성
애기?
기도. 여러 가지.
아, 여러 가지?
Many.
아, 이유가 많이. 아,
머니, 애기,
운이 좋다.
운 럭키.
기도 됐습니다.
하고
됐어요?
내려봤어.
무슨 기도? 무슨 이유?
아이들, my son.
아하.
잘 되라고.
아,
아이들 잘 크고 공부 잘하라고.
저도 결혼했으니까 아마 애기 배우고 싶어요. 네.
그럼 여기 와서 기도해요.
아직 안 나와요.
기도해, 기도.
I came back another day to check out the Gyeongbokgung grandmother, and it was easier said than done. Nothing on the map, hardly any information online, no markers, nothing. But I managed to find it. And so far away from any people and a regular track, it was a bit creepy. This is how I found her. A Joseon concubine and a story in itself. More about that another time. It also got me very close to the engravings on the skirt rock. So it was definitely a win-win.
되게 멋있지 않아요?
진짜 멋있어요.
네.
그 할머니 기도하면
네.
어떤 종교예요? 그냥
샤머니즘.
아, 샤머니즘.
네.
그래서 무당 같은.
예.
아,
예, 뭐 예수나 카톨릭이나
네.
이슬람하고는 다른 토테미즘.
네.
한국 고유의 오래전 할머니 할아버지들이 이렇게 빌었어요.
그는 많이 믿으세요?
많죠.
네.
예, 많아요.
First, let's finish the valley, because there are a few more impressive stories.
This valley is not only famous today, it was also famous during the Joseon dynasty when many scholars, painters and poets, they came here to feel inspired. They drew beautiful paintings here. There's one in particular where you can see a stone bridge and a few scholars walking into the eastern direction. I believe the stone bridge is still here, and if you stand at a certain spot, you can see exactly from where the painter painted the valley. So yeah, you can totally imagine scholars, the creatives of the Joseon dynasty come here and be inspired by this beautiful natural environment. And we're still very much in the city, even in the old city. This valley is still within the old city walls of Hanyang. See it over there? That's the stone bridge. So it was painter, I believe Jongson was his name. But he's the one who drew the painting with the stone bridge. This painting later became quite important because it's no coincidence that this valley looks almost exactly like a replica of that painting. This is it. This is the spot. Look at this, guys. Look at the valley. If this isn't beautiful, then I don't know what beautiful is anymore. So let me show you something. The valley didn't always look like this. At some point, I believe 1970 or 1971, kind of looked like this. Not as beautiful as it is today, right? And also not as beautiful as it was before. So at some point, because of the housing shortage, they needed to build more apartments in the city, and they did that right here, the Ogin Apartment. They've been here for like 40 years or so, and then they decided to remove them. They used the painting by Jongson to recover the valley the way it used to be, and they did a pretty good job. They removed the apartments, but not everything. They left a few walls. Must be here somewhere. Here they are, tucked away. Here, a few walls. People used to live here, right? Sometimes we forget that when we demolish something, then you take away the livelihood of some of the people. The wall of Ogin Apartment. So I'm afraid of snakes, and I have a feeling that there are snakes here. I can hear them, I can feel them. Look at this. People leave little shells. It's so crazy to think that I'm standing in a room where people used to live. I don't know when they recovered the valley. What was it, 2008? I need to look this up. It's not just a valley. This valley is filled with beautiful, interesting stories, like the Ogin Apartment, like the Chima Rock, like the Sunshine, the painting of Jongson, and so on and so on. And we're not done yet, because now we go into the neighborhood of Ogin-dong. I mean, we're already in Ogin-dong, but more into the residential area, where also things didn't look the way they look today. There used to be a huge mansion, the Byeoksusanjang Mansion. Let's check it out. This is what I was so excited about. Random pillars on the street that are not connected to anything. They just bring up a lot of questions. Let me show you. So we have one over here, and we have a smaller one over here. And then on this side, we have a red brick arch that used to go like this. And there's an old photo on which you can see this arch. Like this, and you can compare. And now, with the photo. The cool thing about this is that these pillars, they were the main gate to the Byeoksusanjang Mansion, the estate. And now this is what remains. Question is, why didn't they remove it? But what many people get wrong, this is not the only thing that remains. There is more. There are two buildings that I will show you now.
But who is this Yoon Duk-young who built this Byeoksusanjang Mansion? He may have been Korea's biggest Japanese collaborator. He played an active role in signing the Japan-Korea Treaties of 1905 and 1910, which helped Japan with the annexation of Korea. In return for giving his country to the Japanese, he received a handsome bounty and accumulated much wealth. With that money, he built the extravagant Byeoksusanjang Mansion.
At some point in time, he owned over 50% of Ogin-dong. So half of what you see here in front of us was owned by the man. The definition of wealth.
Like I said, the pillars remain, but also this wall, and probably this wall, maybe that one too. But two other buildings also remain and are definitely worth a visit. I will show you.
Well, Ogin-dong is also nice because it's part of the Seochon Hanok Village. So here and there you'll find nice and beautiful city hanoks. Also something that used to be within the estate. It's actually abandoned. I hope they're gonna renovate it. And it's called Yoon's house? Yoon-shi's cheap? Something like that. You can see the original steps. And then there it is. Yoon-shi's house. Check this out. Small pillars. This place is so obscure. It's so hidden. Tucked away. Hard to find even on the map. Ooh, it's not in the best conditions. So this was the house for Yoon's concubine, and they made an entire replica at Namsan Tower of this house.
With my energy quickly draining down the Suseongdong Valley, it's time for dehydration and a local opinion about Yoon.
여기 어디 사세요?
예.
어긴동에서?
아, 어긴동 잘하시네. 아, 여기 살기 좋아요.
왜 좋아합니까?
예.
아, 조용하니까?
소리가 안 나고 차 소리 안 나고.
야, 어긴동 좋지?
좋지요.
벽수산장 그때 있었을 때 마음이 어땠어요?
윤덕영이 그렇게 착한 사람은 아니에요.
네, 그러니까 네.
알지요?
네, 알아요. 네.
감사합니다.
네.
좋은 일 있으세요?
네, 감사합니다. 네, 오늘 많이 봐세요. 네, 안녕히 계세요. 네. So our last stop of the day is called Park No-soo Museum, a museum that also, well, the building used to be part of the mansion, and let's check it out. Park No-soo was an artist who lived here for a long time, but before that, Yoon Duk-young gave this house to his daughter. So the daughter of Yoon Duk-young lived here, and if you look at old photos, you see a lot of hanoks, the mansion, and then suddenly this building stands out.
I know what you're all thinking. Bart, enough with the mansion already. Don't worry, this is the last stop and a beautiful one. It's one of those cultural houses built during colonial times. Western exterior and Japanese interior. I talked about this in the Gyeongbokgung video.
Here he is, the man himself, Park No-soo. But what a beautiful garden, check it out.
Anyhow, filming inside is not allowed. But this museum is a must in Ogin-dong, whether you go in or just check the garden.
I can totally imagine why Park No-soo wanted to live here.
Then what happened to the mansion? After it had several purposes, 26 years after Yoon's death, it burned down in 1966. And there you have it. The Ogin-dong exploration has ended. Another neighborhood can be colored. Let us call this one the comeback of the sound of Water Valley. Oh, did I mention that Susong-dong is the source of the Chungcheon stream?
It feels great to be back. Thank you for watching. Howdo. I'm really sorry because I've been away too long. I haven't uploaded any Dong neighborhood videos in 1.5 months. At some point, because I do this on a weekly basis, I lost some passion. The joy that I felt exploring these neighborhoods, it felt too much like a routine, and I wanted a more fresh approach. So I took a break and we're back. Not much is gonna change, but at least I feel the joy again to explore these little unknown places.